Yo, what's up guys, it's NLW here, back again with another video. Today, going to be giving you my thoughts and my predictions on WWE Fastlane 2021. It's the final stop on the road to WrestleMania. Going to be telling you what I think of the card and what I think of the matches. But before I do, make sure you like the video, comment down below what match you're most looking forward to from Fastlane, and make sure you subscribe as we're so close to 1,000 subscribers, and your support in getting there would be greatly appreciated. But without further ado, let's get into the card. We'll start off with a very weird match. It's Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. I have no idea how this one came about. I did see the promo where Shane was heavy breathing into the microphone. It was more breathing than talking, it was, and Braun Strowman as well, running an obstacle course or something like that and getting covered in slime. I'm not digging this feud at all. I have no idea where they're going with it. I think that both men's talents could be used elsewhere at the moment. I think Braun Strowman needs to be an unbeatable monster, and Shane McMahon, he can mess with, I don't know, another guy on the roster, but this is a weird match for me, so I think that there's going to be shenanigans in this one. I think that Shane McMahon's going to win, and maybe there's going to be a rematch, like a hardcore match at WrestleMania. That's just my take on it, but they'll pull it out of the bag. I'm sure they will, because Shane McMahon, he does pull it off in big match situations. And like I said, Braun Strowman, he's a monster. I think there's some creative spots they could do, but I feel like this could set something up for WrestleMania. So for now, I'm going to say Shane McMahon wins with some screwy interference or something like that, so they can progress the feud further. But in all honesty, not really digging it. Next up from SmackDown, we got the Intercontinental Championship on the line as Big E defends against Apollo Crews. I am enjoying Big E's reign thus far, and seeing Apollo Crews turn heel, I think it's a much needed, fresh direction for his character. He's coming out with the guards, and he's in touch with his heritage, I should say. So I don't think that Crews is going to win here. I think that Big E will continue his reign, but I could see an upset potentially, you know? Apollo Crews, he's got this momentum from his heel turn. I think you could solidify that with a title win. However, I think that Big E's run is just beginning, and I'd like to see a strong babyface run for Big E, so I don't want him to lose the championship thus yet. However, Apollo, I wouldn't mind seeing him as the champion. He's been a bit bland over the past year. Yes, he did get a push winning the United States Championship, but he was a bland white meat babyface. I think this new heel run will really show what Apollo's got going for him, and I'm quite looking forward to this match on Sunday. A match I'm not looking forward to, however, is the WWE Women's Tag Team title match. It's Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler being accompanied by Reginald, going up against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. All I've got to say about this one is the match at Elimination Chamber they had wasn't very good, and Sasha versus Bianca is one of the matches I'm most looking forward to at WrestleMania. So I don't understand why they have to make this build to WrestleMania so complicated. It seems like a simple story, but WWE tends to overcomplicate things that are that simple and maybe overthink things a little bit. So I hate these titles. I think they're useless. Nia and Shayna, they're not really doing it for me at the moment, especially Nia. So I think that Sasha and Bianca could potentially win the tag team titles. At least that's what I'd want to see, and maybe continue that after WrestleMania, like the John Cena, Shawn Michaels stuff from a few years ago. Like, I don't know. I think Banks and Belair probably going to win this one, because otherwise why give them the rematch? It makes no sense. But we'll see if they pull it out of the bag, but I'm not having high hopes. Next up, we've got a very rare intergender match as Alexa Bliss takes on the Viper, Randy Orton. It's an easy win for Alexa Bliss. You know, she's got the power to her advantage. As you can see here, she's got the height advantage. I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, I think it's going to be a good match. They could potentially push this as more of an angle than a match itself. I want them to go 10 minutes. I think it could be interesting to see how Alexa plays into Randy Orton's psyche. Ultimately, though, I think that Orton will either well, he's going to win, let's face it, but I think there's going to be some shenanigans with The Fiend to set up a Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania. A lot of people like to downplay The Fiend, Randy Orton stuff. They're not digging it, but to be honest, I like the variety in my wrestling. So yeah, they can go too far the other way with, you know, the likes of Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon, but I feel like this supernatural stuff, it's different. Like, some people may not be invested in that kind of thing, but it's so stupid that you can't help but just be entertained by it, and that's what I'm looking for in my wrestling, to be entertained. So I think it'll be a good angle more than a match. However, I think this is going to set up The Fiend coming back at Fastlane to challenge Randy Orton to a match at WrestleMania, but we will see. In the main match from Raw, we got Drew McIntyre going one-on-one with Sheamus. They've been planting the seeds for this since after the Royal Rumble and since Elimination Chamber. I don't know why it can't be some sort of Extreme Rules match at this event, or even a number one contenders match for the title at WrestleMania, because you just had Drew McIntyre announce that he was going to face Lashley at Mania, and why not add the stakes to this match and have McIntyre win something to go and face Lashley for the championship at WrestleMania? That's just my take on it. Regardless though, I think it's going to be a good match, even though we've already seen it on Raw. They've had good matches on Raw. I feel like maybe have a stipulation added to this one to progress the story a little bit more. I think that McIntyre's got this one in the bag, unless they do a Triple H No Way Out type thing where they have Sheamus book strong and beat McIntyre, although it wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. But they're two big beefy guys, and I think they're going to have a big beefy battle, so I'm looking forward to it. McIntyre I've got winning. And finally, the main event for the Universal Championship, as Roman Reigns defends against Daniel Bryan, with the added caveat of a special guest enforcer. Will it be Edge or will it be Jey Uso? They'll fight on SmackDown to decide who is going to be the special guest enforcer. I believe it's going to be Edge. I don't think they're going to bring him back on SmackDown just to lose to Jey Uso. So I predict that Edge going to be the special guest enforcer. Perhaps cost Daniel Bryan, maybe cause some friction there, or even cost Roman Reigns to set up a triple threat at Mania. That's what I'm actually hoping for. But again, it's a toss-up. I don't think that Bryan's going to win it at Fastlane, of all places. I think that Reigns is going to win, beat Daniel Bryan, perhaps due to some shenanigans with Edge involved, although potentially they might set up a triple threat at Mania. That's what I would hope, because Reigns versus Edge, yeah, it's kind of intriguing, but I feel like having Daniel Bryan there as kind of a wild card like they did with Chris Benoit back at WrestleMania 20, I think that's quite an interesting story that they could take it, and considering it's a bland card for WrestleMania at the moment, let's be honest, and I think adding Daniel Bryan to the title match could spice things up a bit, and even have Edge pin Bryan if that's what you want to go for. But the last match that Reigns and Bryan had at Fastlane was absolutely fantastic, and also check that match out on my channel that I made the prediction video for Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. Good action figure match. I'd recommend you check it out. However, I'm looking forward to it in a way. Reigns versus Bryan, I know they're going to knock it out of the park, and the added intrigue of Edge at ringside, or maybe Jey Uso, maybe they pull a swerve. We'll see what happens this Sunday. So those are my thoughts on Fastlane. Overall, I don't feel like there's a need to have this show. You could certainly build better towards WrestleMania, and it certainly feels like a filler show with the matches that have been announced, but I'm not going to complain if it's a 2.5 hour show, because it'll be easy to sit through at least. And with only 3 weeks left until WrestleMania, I honestly can't predict where the road's going, so in a way that's quite good. Keep some intrigue there as we head in to WrestleMania. But what do you think about the card for Fastlane? What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, as we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers soon, and your support in getting there would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching. My review for Fastlane will be out on Monday, and I will catch you guys later.